So let's suppose that you need to discount something. For some reason, this person's getting a $50 discount off the price of the mattress. It is not advisable to simply change your prices up here. This stuff should really be left the same. It can affect our inventory values, so on and so forth. It's just better to put your discounts down here in the discount field. Again, this is something that has to be activated in the setup. We'll do a video going through invoice setup, and I can show you some of that stuff. You've got two options. You can take a percentage or you can do a value. In this case, I'm doing a value. I'm typing in $50 or 50 because that's what I'm taking off. You can see it shows negative 50 here.
So if you're just giving them $50 off because it's a display or something like that, you put in $50. Now let's suppose you tell them you're going to give them 10% off because it's a whatever. Then
Yep.
you use discount percent rather than discount value.
And keep in mind, if you use a percentage, it's taking a percentage off the whole ticket. So if you're only wanting to
So
discount,
here's your total amount. It's going to take 10% off of that, which gives you that.
yeah. So anyway, this is however you want to do it. The one thing that I will tell you, I don't know why QuickBooks defaults to this lineup, but every single time you do that, you have to click these arrows here, and it moves your discount up before the sales tax. Otherwise, you're taxing the discount.
Say that again.
So this is the default.
So it defaults to doing it after the sales tax.
sales tax.
Okay.
You see the sales tax is $75.06. We should be taking the discount before the sales tax. It lowers your sales tax to $67.55.
Oh, cool.
So that's an important little button right there. All right, so this invoice is finished, and you once again have this green button down at the bottom with several options. I can just simply save it and close it, or if it's an invoice that the customer's requested that I email him, maybe we're doing a phone order, they want a copy of it sent to their email. Since you've put the email address in here, if you do the save and send, it's going to bring up this box here. Same thing when we were sending a purchase order, looks the same way. You're just sending that customer a copy of their invoice, and you can adjust your email message here accordingly, whatever you want it to say.
Now he canceled. Well, go ahead.
But I'm going to save this invoice. We'll go back in and delete it.
He didn't email it to him because we didn't want to send an email to johnsnow@gmail.com. I mean, who knows?
Who knows who that is? Yeah. And we don't want him getting a copy of our email and getting upset.
No.
All right, so I'm going to save and close it. That is simply saving this invoice into our screen. Now I'm going to backtrack a little bit. This is your filter button here. I highly recommend on a day-to-day course of business clicking this filter, going down to your date, and changing it to today. It doesn't change anything that I'm doing right now, but when you've got weeks and months and years worth of invoices in here, filtering it for today gets rid of everything but what you're currently working on. Okay?
So they paid, now you need to collect the money.
Now we need to collect the money. So you've got a button over here to the right where you're going to receive your payment. Brings up another screen. You've got a payment method. They're paying with a credit card. This defaulted to undeposited funds, which is fantastic. You want to make sure it does default to undeposited funds.
As opposed to, what are those?
As opposed to anything. You really want this to, whatever this may show, you want this to say undeposited funds. Some of you, the first time you do this, if it's the first time you've done this, it may show cash drawer, it may show your bank account, whatever.
It should always be undeposited.
You want it
funds.
to be undeposited funds. The good thing is, once you've selected undeposited funds for the very first time, every time after that, it should default to that, and you won't have to change it. As long as they're making one payment for the whole invoice, it's going to default to the total amount here, and you can save it.
Now let's suppose they were only making a $100 payment toward it. They were putting it on layaway or something like that. So you just type in $100.
Well, we don't really do layaways this way, but
Okay, never
let's
mind.
say they're doing two payments. Let's say it's
$400 on cash and
$400
$431.
on cash, so we're going to change this to cash over here. I've received $400. It's changing your payment here and save and close. Now it's going to show you that you've got a $400 payment with a balance due of $431.65 up here. So if they're putting the rest, say, on a credit card, you receive a payment again. Do a credit card, it again defaults to whatever the balance due is, and then save and close. Now you've got a paid invoice that you can literally print a copy for the customer that shows paid. Depending on how you do, operate your individual stores, my delivery guys are instructed not to deliver anything that does not show paid, does not have a paid invoice attached to it.
Perfect.
And that's how you create an invoice and receive a payment.